Thank you for joining Fretsister Presents Between Frets, a space where female musicians who play string instruments meet and discuss all things music. I'm your host, Jenny Jam. So today we have a Fretsister founder, Shorny Shorn Marshall. Yay! She started three, listening to a lot of old school R&B and writing at the age of 14 and still writing strong. She has a few singles out already and is currently working on an EP. So, welcome, Shorn. How
Hey,
you
what's
doing?
good? Nothing.
Thank you for joining. We're so excited to have you.
Oh, this is my very first interview ever in life, so I am no longer a virgin for that.
Oh, okay. All right, that's cool. Well, it's so great that we're able to start interviewing like our own founders of Fret Sisters, so people can get to know us. So we definitely want to get to know you. So let's get right into the interview. Um,
Okay.
we want to go way back in the beginning, your early childhood. What was your first experience with music? What was it the first time like? I mean, it says here that, you started singing at the age of 3. I mean, what were you singing then? That's just
Well,
the coolest.
one of my experience was every time I go home at night in the car and you have like the radio with the quiet storm and stuff that comes on at night, and Tina Marie comes on every night, and the first song I ever sang is If I Was a Bell.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a great song. Wow.
Yeah, for a 3-year-old, even though I didn't know what I was saying, I was just now talking and I'm just in here humming in the back seat in the car, trying to mimic how she sounds when she sings.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much how it is. You kind of like start finding your influence even at a young age, kind of figuring it out. Well, that's really cool. I mean, so was that so from then on when you started singing, how did you continue on that? And is your family musical, by the way?
Yes, I have like a couple members of my family are singers. It's actually mostly my dad. I watch his group. He had a group, and every time after school, after I do my homework, his group was rehearsing in the garage downstairs. And after I do my homework, I go downstairs and watch them rehearse and trying to learn the dance steps and everything. And also in my mom's side, my uncle was a guitarist, and also my grandfather and my aunt, they had a group together. And that's what I just found out like a couple years ago about that they had a group together, and like almost kind of like a R&B funk band. And it was almost like SOS band, but a little bit more soulful.
Mm-hmm.
So I do came from members of my family musically. But as a child, when I kept on singing, I used to sing in church. So when my grandmother, I always go to church with my grandmother as a kid, and I joined the choir. I was the youngest in the choir and singing and everything. So that's mostly I've been growing up singing is from singing in church. And
Oh, yeah.
and I didn't really like sing seriously, like classically, until I started in high school. And mostly in high school, we sing like a lot of classical music and sometimes a little mixed in with stuff. And then that's when I kind of like started singing more seriously, and especially went straight to college. I've been in many groups. I couldn't sit down in the concert. I've been like standing up the whole entire concert in different groups.
Wow. Wow. And I know you mentioned like some of your family members like played instruments and played like the guitar, because I know you're also a guitarist too. But you play a lot of other instruments too. So was that like an influence, I guess, with seeing your family, kind of picking up that guitar and kind of doing that too?
Actually, my dad used to play bass, and he now plays percussion.
Oh, okay.
So I first started playing was a piano when I was like 6. And then I did drums around 9. I used to play drums in church, and I was in the drum line in high school. And I didn't pick up the guitar until like my freshman year in college.
Wow.
I was a late bloomer on that one because I realized that I was like, I might as well just learn how to play guitar, and it will probably make me enhance better as a songwriter, so I can execute my music better than the piano. At least I know what chords I'm playing.
Yeah. That's always good, right?
Yeah.
So what is it that made you want to pursue a career in music? I mean, obviously your family, right? That, the encouragement. I'm sure your dad was like really proud of you to like get into music, right?
Well, my dad been more supported now than it was before. When I was in high school, I told him I wanted to do music seriously. He's like, "Don't you have a plan B?" And I was like, "Really?" So, but I really didn't want to get serious until like I was like 14. I was coming from a very bad place, and then I just started suffering depression at that time, and almost that close committed suicide for situation.
Wow.
Yeah, it was very bad. So every time I think myself, like my grandmother died that year, and she loved to hear me sing. I think she told me in my dreams, saying like, "You need to start singing again."
That's beautiful.
So once I start singing, every time I sing, I close my eyes, and everything that's bad around me like just magically disappeared. So I was like, music really saved my life. It saved me from going to a very, very dark place in my life, and it just saved me. It actually kept me alive.
Now that's just a great testimony for a lot of people that go through that and actually do use music for the outlet, or just to be able to, free up some feelings and stuff, which actually leads me to my next question is your songwriting, and it kind of is kind of similar, just like what your experience and your life story, with your songwriting and your singing. Is a lot of that based on like a lot of your history, a lot of your feelings based on your songwriting?
Yes, especially with my new album that I'm working on right now, my new album, Reinvention. I go through my past, I face my demons, I go through a lot of self-discovery, and now going through closures in my life. That's going to be some parts of my life is going to be in this album. A lot of stuff that I go through now, my relationships, my past relationships, my current relationships, that's kind of like inspires me to write a lot. Usually when you write songs, you always write about what you know. And that's what I do. I write about what I go through in the past, what I go through now, what I might go through in the future. And I'm not reaching to anybody. I just want to share my story. And once I put my story out there, like, oh my God, somebody might go through the same situation. Like when I wrote my song F You Trolls, a lot of people, they see in social media, they go through like all these bad comments, people talking bad about you, even bullying. When it's outside of social media, you feel bullied when people tell you things saying that you're fat and da. And that's the type of song that I wrote. I actually trying to clap back at them. So as a representative of the geeks, dorks, weird, not normal people that have been bullied and been trolled by these trolls, I would say F you. yeah. In so many words. Which is such a strong statement and a great kind of story, to talk about, because you do, that is a, kind of like a thing that is happening because of social media. You do have a lot of that bullying, a lot of,
the bad comments. I mean, the public's not nice, they can be mean sometimes. So, just having something like that out there for people to listen to that are going through that is actually a good therapy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Well, what attributes what do you attribute to your drive as an artist? And obviously it's definitely a lot of like your history and your life stories.
Yeah, it really is my story, and I don't think I have that type of drive as an artist as much. I just whatever I think I do. So when I create my music, and whenever I think of a lyric line or a guitar riff or progressions, even when I'm in the shower,
yeah,
I just like, oh my God, I got out the shower, go straight to my computer, grab my guitar, and just get it in there before I forget.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, even if I have my phone or I'm not at home, sometimes I hum the progressions because I had the voice recorder in my phone. I just do that most of the time. So it does. I get ideas constantly, even in my sleep. My brain, even though I'm resting and I go to sleep, my brain doesn't stop.
Yep. That's a true artist right there. Definitely. Well, so who are your influences? We definitely want to know that. I mean, you mentioned Tina Marie, at least like when you were 4, which is awesome.
Well, I have a lot of, based on my vocal range, and my style, I'm a hip hop soul artist. So most definitely Mary J. Blige. I really love her style of music and the way she executes in her songwriting. I love Anita Baker. I'm a very strong alto, so her voice, Toni Braxton, Ledisi. In the guitar area of my influence, definitely Melina Moore. She kind of inspired me to be able to play guitar more seriously, because when I watched her on YouTube, and I see her perform and doing her solos, and when she did the guitar and she was scraping on the microphone stand with it, and I was like, wow, a woman like her can go up on stage, don't care about nobody, what you think about her, especially her music and stuff like that. As in my genre, hip hop soul, you mostly don't see a lot of guitarists or people playing guitar in a lot of hip hop music and all that stuff. So I just like to break barriers, and that's what she was doing. Melina actually broke barriers.
Yeah, definitely. She's super dope.
Yeah.
I mean that's a kind of a good lead in, with the female musician, female guitar, vocals, just the advice and tips, for other female musicians that that want to, young and old. So you're young, you're starting out, or even you're at a certain age and you want to pursue something like that. Do you have any tips or any advice for them?
Well, no matter what age you are, if you want to pursue music, do it. There's no age cutoff when it comes to music. Some people said that they want to give up. In the past, I was that close about to give up singing a couple years ago, because most people wasn't, feeling my vocals that much. But if you ever feel like you want to give up, don't give up. The more you practice on your craft, the more you try to get your name out there and meet the right people, you will get far. Because I don't like to see a lot of people give up very easily if they just they did one thing and they're not doing anything about it. I actually mentoring right now an artist, and she lives in the DMV, and I helped her with her vocals, and she's a talented singer. She's a talented like lyric writer, like songwriter. Like I actually looked at her lyrics and it was very interesting. I enjoyed her lyrics. And she said she didn't know what to do, like in stepwise, how to get started. And I just helped guide her these steps in the right path to get to where the level that I am right now. And she didn't know what to do, so I was helping her. Me and my friend Kay Quick, we helped her, guide her through different steps dealing with in the studio, like equipment, like gear, different like the business side of the music business, especially when you are a songwriter, being creative, dealing with publishing, copywriting, and all that stuff. So yeah, just don't give up. As long as you have your research, as long as you have learn anything to enhance your craft, whether you're singing or you're playing the instrument. Me, I'm still learning as a guitarist, even though I've been playing for 15 years. And I mostly been playing by ear, and I usually don't use scales like that, but I learn solos in my head and I execute it from there. But just don't stop learning.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, just keep learning, keep working on your craft and practice. Always have a practice schedule, so you don't give up on that one either. So that's a lot of issues. People don't practice and don't have a specific practice schedule or any research to enhance their songwriting or vocals or whatever they doing in music. So learn your craft.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, in order to learn your craft, that's how you're going to succeed and become, kind of, reach your goals or at least get there. So yeah, I mean, that's definitely important for people to know that it's not that easy. It's not like, oh yeah, I just want to be a guitarist or a singer or a songwriter and bam, that happens. It's like, you got to work on it.
Yep.
So,
you got to put in that work.
Yep. Very good advice. So I know you're working on stuff. You're working on an EP. You're working on a single. I think you're even working on a music video. But yeah, when do we expect to see all this stuff? And I know you have stuff already that's on iTunes or on Spotify. So yeah, let us know what are you doing now?
I just shot a music video for my single, the remix of FU Trolls last weekend. So I just now editing the behind the scenes. So y'all will get a little taste of my prepping before I left to go to Maryland, the travel days, the behind the scenes shenanigans and bloopers.
That's awesome.
And you also will see my kids, because my kids is also in the video as well.
Nice.
I also, my new album that I am planning on launching before the end of the year, called Reinvention. I have a single for that one getting ready to release probably by summer. I will actually release that single for that summer. You will see a different side of me, especially my creativity. You will actually see my creativity in a different level than my past projects. If you want to listen to my past project, my mixtape Split Personality, is available exclusively on my website, and it's a free download, so you don't have to pay for nothing. So I had a couple original music in that project, but it's like a lot of covers, and I just put some original lyrics in there just to give my little creativity spin on these covers. So
yeah, that's great. I mean, you got a lot of stuff that everybody needs to hear, and yeah, I mean, tell us what your website is, where people can follow you, find your music. You were saying the website, you have a free download. Where else can we find your music and follow you to look up these behind the scenes? That's going to be so cool.
Well, you can catch up with me on my Instagram. I usually post a lot on Instagram and my music Facebook page. My Instagram is Shorn M. A lot of people say Shorm, but it's actually SHORNNM. My Facebook page is the same as my Twitter, which is Shorn Music. My YouTube, if you want to catch that behind the scenes, I probably might get that done. Release that probably next week. Is Mickey 92685.
Where'd that come from?
that's my YouTube channel, or you can just search my name, or you can search my name, Shorn Marshall, and my channel will pop up.
Oh yeah.
My website, if you want to get the my mixtape Split Personality, is shornmarshall.wixsite.com/Shorn Marshall Music -1. I don't have a domain for that yet. Bear with me.
Okay. But we could definitely do a search on Shorn Marshall and it'll probably pop up, right?
Yeah. And also, if you want to get my single, the remix of FU Trolls, featuring my Beat Sparks and Faith Bro, K Quick, that's available on all online platforms: iTunes, Apple Music, Google Play, Spotify, even YouTube. So it's everywhere on that one. And be on the lookout for my new single for my new album Reinvention, coming probably around this summer.
Awesome. Well, that's great. I mean, you definitely got a lot happening in 2019. It looks like it's going to be a really good year for you. Definitely. Well, thank you for taking the time to do this interview and let us know a little bit about you. And everybody follow Shorn, SHORN, not M, Shorn Marshall. It's just how it's spelled, MARSHALL. Follow her on Instagram, on YouTube, Facebook, the website, and definitely, and Fretsisters too. Definitely follow Fretsisters. You'll see some stuff from Shorn, because we'll all be putting up little things here and there, little surprises, right? So yeah. So thank you, Shorn.
You're most very welcome, sis.
All right. I know, we're sisters. All right. So so that concludes our episode, and we hope you have a great day, night, evening, whatever time it is for you listening to this. I'm your host, Jenny Jam. Thank you.